As you may know, the city of Barcelona and Digital Future Society, an initiative of First Vice Presidency and Minister for Economy and Digitalization of the Government of Spain and Mobile World Capital Barcelona, have joined forces to organize this event called Humanism in the Digital Age, the Human Contribution. The thing is that during nearly 2 decades, numerous of the most important companies in the globe, many of them in the digital sector, have driven and led our world. Now that an important part of our society is aware of both the benefits and the risks of the digital age, it's time to reassess and analyze how to face the next few years in a just and fair way. If we really believe that humans should be in the center of the equation, it's key to identify and address our challenges, and to do so, we have to rethink about building a fair, solid and healthy democracy that avoids leaving anyone behind. When talking about digitalization, algorithms and artificial intelligence, one example that it always comes to my mind is an example that we explored together with the Digital Future Society program, with the think tank and the program, the communication program, based on the inventors of the airbag. This kind of, let's say, analogical gadget that basically saved tons of lives. But the fact is that the team who invented it at the beginning was basically made of men. And we can explain that that's why during the process, while they were just setting it up, let's say they used their own weights and heights as a reference to measure the impact and how it would work, among other details. I'm sure that you know that, but you know what happened after they launched it? Even it was a life-saving gadget, some people died after some accidents. And basically were women and kids, because there were no women invited to write the code of those gadgets, and therefore it did not represent and protect them. 50 years later, we need that the people who are designing the airbags of the future, in digital terms of course, think further and broader in order to avoid representing only a few. That's why today we'll try to point out some key elements, and we'll do it with more than 40 amazing and very relevant speakers that they will interact in more than 15 sessions. We need everyone involved here. We need policymakers, we need academics, we need consultants, technologists, and of course civil society. That's why I would like to start this session by asking Carme Artigas, Laia, Bonet and Cristina Colom to join me on the stage, please. We'll start, please, with Cristina Colom, Digital Future Society program. It's your turn.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome here. Those who are following us online, but also those ones who are having the experience of being here on site at this fabulous event, at this fabulous venue, which is the Hospital San Pau. Allow me a few words in Spanish, because I would like to make a recognition to the representatives here of the public administration before I really start with the intro. Las primeras palabras serían para la Secretaria de Estado de Digitalización e Inteligencia Artificial, Carme Artigas, para agradecerle su compromiso con Digital Future Society, pero también por el impulso que está llevando a través de su secretaría para lo que sería la transformación digital de la sociedad y ese empeño en la Carta de Derechos Digitales. Desde Digital Future Society queremos contribuir al máximo en esta transformación digital pensada por y para las personas, y queremos tener un rol activo en todos aquellos espacios de protección de los derechos y los intereses de las personas. Creo que estaremos todos de acuerdo que en esta situación que estamos viviendo de emergencia digital es necesaria la máxima colaboración entre instituciones y entidades, sobre todo aquellas que perseguimos ese mismo objetivo, el de situar a las personas y, en su conjunto, a la sociedad en el centro de esta revolución tecnológica. Este evento es un claro ejemplo y de ahí también mi máximo agradecimiento a la tercera teniente de alcaldía del Ayuntamiento de Barcelona, Laia Bonet, por su implicación, por su dedicación y por, fruto de esta colaboración conjunta del Ayuntamiento de Barcelona, nos encontramos hoy todos aquí. Let me now start by thanking you, by thanking all the institutions, all the entities, all the organizations who are accompanying us today here. As people were saying, this is a fabulous venue, the world's largest Art Nouveau complex, which was declared World Heritage by the UNESCO, and it was the excellent work of a Catalan architect named Lluís Domènech i Montaner. I'm delighted to share with all of you that we have counted over 150 different entities or institutions who have registered for the different activities, for the different sessions today, which means that our family is growing by large. Because it is important for us to do or to achieve our purpose with all of you, to ensure that technology is designed and is deployed applying this humanistic approach. I always like to remind myself of a statement from Digital Minister of Taiwan, Audrey Tang, who is also a member of the Global Board of Digital Future Society, and I literally quote her. She says, "We are always bringing technology to people, rather than asking people to come to technology." At Digital Future Society, we analyze all the ethical, the social, the economical, the environmental challenges that stem from the so-called Fourth Industrial Revolution. By gathering and connecting key stakeholders across the globe, always in a collaborative manner, we put forward solutions, recommendations, or guidelines to address these challenges. The digitalization that characterizes the global economy today is spreading at a much faster pace than we could have ever anticipated, and is really already affecting most spheres of our lives. It is undeniable that the global pandemic has indeed accelerated even more this digital transformation. However, this accelerated digital transformation implies we definitely need to shift priorities, and we really need to face some key social pressing challenges. The way we tackle these challenges, the way we foster for international collaboration, the way we engage with each other, the way we seek for those solutions will determine the way we are building this digital future. And yes, that means we need to talk about emerging technologies, we need to talk about innovation, that's true, but beyond that, we really need to not only discuss, but call for action to face real issues, such as social, gender, and racial inequalities, eliminate human rights breaches, mitigate the climate emergency, or progress on a genuine democratic and transparent data governance framework. In this sense, we at Digital Future Society advocate for Barcelona to become the main booster to apply this human-centered approach when designing and adopting technology so that we can really overcome the current pressing challenges. And because in this journey, we believe cities have a key role to play. Traditionally, the main problems cities had to face were technological imbalances, and those were studied from an uncompleted conception of the digital divide, which was mainly focused on accessibility or not to digital infrastructures and the internet. And yet, this is definitely true. We need this accessibility, but the digital emergency has exposed us to the need to address different areas beyond accessibility, like the ones that we will be discussing during the day. Let me give you a sneak peek of some of the main themes that we need to work all together and will be discussed during the sessions. The digital divides, expressed in plural, as an accentuated reality that has risen and that has had a significant impact on the individual's ability to fully engage in society. And that's generally because the specific impact is in several areas. That could be education, employment, government interaction, citizen participation, and socialization. This is why we say we go beyond accessibility. The increasing use of data and the need to guarantee citizens' right to privacy in a urban environment, with a prominent use of artificial intelligence by public and private sector, including profiling, automated decision-making, and machine learning. This even shapes a new understanding of what privacy means and how to build protective frameworks. The lack of or the very limited existing regulation on specific emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, it's also a topic. It is true that Europe is at the forefront on regulation, at least on a draft regulation on artificial intelligence. But it is also true that some aspects, such as facial recognition, is causing a salient issue in the worldwide public debate, facing strong opposition and an emerging backlash within the digital rights movement. Or even future issues with pending question marks, like a global data governance framework or the environmental challenges from technology to achieve an authentic green digital transition. It is therefore an honor to host such magnificent top-notch voices who will share their thoughts, their views, their initiatives, their best practices to show how they are tackling those challenges. But I like to think that there is one ingredient in common with all what we will hear today, and that is that we put society at the forefront. It is a pleasure to have on stage today representatives from the public administration, from international cabinet members, foundations, startups, activists, thinkers, experts, who believe actually that a better future is possible, who devote their time and their effort to ensure we progress towards a more inclusive, sustainable, and fairer digital transition, preserving and protecting our rights, both on the online world, but also offline. In a nutshell, we will deep dive in the understanding of the challenges and dilemmas caused by this digital emergency from different points of view. But we will highlight specifically from a urban standpoint, recognizing, as I was saying before, the role of cities in this endeavor. Cities are a whirlwind of change, adaptation, and challenge. Cities are facing the most complex issues, whereas this is unemployment, or environmental threats, or mobility, or poverty, and they need to find solutions for their dwellers. This is why they have a key role to play in building this more inclusive and sustainable digital future. This is now the momentum of Barcelona to take the lead in this critical action. I am certain we will have very productive sessions today, and I do hope that this event becomes a hallmark in the field of humanism in the digital age. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cristina, Colom. I'm really confident we'll have amazing sessions. Let's now listen to Laia Bonet, Deputy Mayor of Barcelona for the 2030 Agenda, the Digital Transformation and International Relations. We'd love to hear you, so let's go. Thank you.
Bon dia a totes, bon dia a tots. Benvingudes i benvinguts. Welcome to Barcelona. Em permetreu que doni inici a aquesta conferència fent referència a un altre esdeveniment que tindrà lloc aquesta setmana en aquesta ciutat, perquè enguany se celebren 10 anys de la primera edició de l'Smart City Expo World Congress. Fa 10 anys que Barcelona es va voler situar en el mapa de les ciutats digitals, acollint una fira pionera en les solucions tecnològiques urbanes. Una dècada no és gaire en la vida d'una ciutat, però és molt, molt de temps en termes d'avenços tecnològics. El model de ciutat digital que teníem aleshores, però basat bàsicament en la implantació de la tecnologia per ella mateixa, com una finalitat en si mateixa, no ens serveix ja. Hem après que la tecnologia no és neutral, que és rellevant a qui pertanyen les solucions digitals que s'implementen a la ciutat. Hem après que importa quines dades es recullen, per quines finalitats i a mans de qui queden aquestes dades. Hem après que aquestes tecnologies tenen molt poc sentit si no serveixen per millorar la qualitat de vida als barris. En resum, hem après que hem de situar els drets i les llibertats al centre del model tecnològic. És evident que a Barcelona no hem estat els únics en evolucionar cap a aquestes posicions. En els darrers anys, la Unió Europea, i la Cristina hi feia referència, ha iniciat regulacions molt ambicioses orientades justament a construir un model tecnològic amb innovació digital que respongui a les necessitats socials i que respecti els drets fonamentals. A Barcelona volem ser punta de llança d'aquest model europeu de digitalització. Cristina has told us the same idea, but let me be clear. Barcelona wants to lead as a city a European model of digital transformation, one that places human rights and social progress at the heart of innovation. Let me just briefly outline the challenges that we have ahead, because this is about our economic model, but also about substantive policy choices. Indeed, we need new business models that are focused on social impact rather than on the next funding rounds or on shareholders' profits. Let me be very clear also. The metaverse, for instance, can only be a good idea if it helps our senior citizens living alone to get closer to their loved ones while protecting users' privacy. But I'm afraid this is not among their primary goals. In short, it is about moving away from a model based on seeking profit over protecting people online. We, public institutions, have the capacity to change that, both as regulators and as public entrepreneurs. We need to take risks as well if we want to succeed, and this includes investing in social impact solutions and building public tech. It also means, in our view, placing the right policy choices at the center of public action. And these choices are political. In Barcelona, for instance, we choose to help people to get online and get trained on digital skills rather than letting them move to online education without support. This is a choice. We also choose to limit our use of artificial intelligence in municipal services at the present to make sure that we have the right model in place, one that protects rights and prevents discrimination. We need to advocate for policymakers at all levels to make the right calls, to foster digital inclusion so that we can ensure equal opportunities in the digital age, to work towards a global data governance framework that protects citizens' privacy, and to develop a regulation of AI that guarantees the protection of human rights. And also when it comes to experimentation, we all know that new digital technologies need to be tested. The key issue here is with whom and about what. We have ample evidence on how technology developments are being tested upon most vulnerable groups: homeless populations, impoverished communities, racial and gender minorities. Choosing a just digital transition also means testing innovation with those people in a better position to uphold their rights in case such innovation failed. Finally, let me also mention something that I think is relevant today, as last week's COP26 failed again to produce the ambitious outcome our planet needs. I don't think we can afford to look at the ecological transition and the digital transformation as two entirely separate things. Those are the biggest challenges of our times, and it would be wrong to overlook how intertwined they are when it comes to energy consumption, but also to social justice. A just digital transition means distributing the costs of decarbonization fairly. A just digital transition means distributing the benefits of digitalization in an equitable way. Those are transformations that can lead to fairer societies, but they can easily result in enhanced inequalities too. In both cases, we will need to systematically look at who wins and who loses and redress such disparities. This is what humanism, as the title of this conference goes, stands for. Today, we have the opportunity to show that there is not only the political will to do that, but also that this European model of digitalization is already happening, whether we look at what cities are doing, or the discussions around the AI Act, or how the digital divide is being addressed at the neighborhood level. Let me finish by thanking you all for being here today, also the ones that are online following this conference, and especially those who have come from abroad. And also thank our partner institutions, the government of Spain, and the Digital Future Society. Gracias, Cristina. Gracias, Carme. I'm sure we will have an inspiring conference, and I hope it will help us to go back home with renewed energies to pursue the change we need for a just digital transformation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Laia. Great listening to you. And let me invite now to Calamari, Artigas, Secretary of State for Digitization and Artificial Intelligence of the Government of Spain. Please, the floor is yours.
Good morning. It is a pleasure for me to participate in this opening ceremony. Just me allow me some words in Catalan to start, my mother tongue. Moltíssimes gràcies, em fa un plaer enorme estar aquí en un espai tan emblemàtic com és aquí l'espai modernista, no? De l'Hospital Sant Pau. I el modernista sabeu que va ser una corrent artística que intentava connectar l'art i l'arquitectura amb la natura. No? I quin espai millor que aquest, on estem envoltats de científics, de metges i de dades i de salut per parlar dels grans reptes de futur, com és l'humanisme en la nova era digital. Avui Barcelona torna a ser la capital mundial de l'humanisme tecnològic. I dic torna a ser perquè ja ho va ser a la darrera edició del Mobile, amb el primer gran event que vam organitzar conjuntament amb el Digital Future Society, que per mi va marcar un abans i un després en el debat internacional about aquests temes. No? Per tant, ahir vaig tenir el gran plaer allà de poder moderar un debat entre el gran Harari i el gran Arsuaga, no? que va donar molt de sí. I avui torna a ser aquesta capital mundial de l'humanisme amb una nova perspectiva, la de la contribució urbana. Ho deia molt bé la Laia a la seva introducció, no? El gran rol de les ciutats, que estan ocupant ja el 80% de la població mundial i que s'han de tornar a reinventar, sobretot després de la pandèmia, amb poder pensar quines són aquestes noves dinàmiques. No? Moltíssimes gràcies, Laia, pel teu lideratge, per fer possible l'event d'avui, i sobretot el Digital Future Society, amb el Carles i la Cristina al front, perquè això no és el treball d'un dia. Això és el treball de molts mesos i de molts anys per arribar al punt d'aquí. Per tant, em fa moltíssima il·lusió, felicitats, i espero que sigui sobretot una jornada que marqui els grans debats de futur, sobretot en clau de present. So I would like to thank, first of all, the Digital Future Society organization for organizing this meeting, which will bring together some of the leading international experts in this field, and also for the support and leadership of the City Hall of Barcelona. This meeting will continue advancing in a human-centered vision of technology through debate and joint reflection, and in order to identify and address the challenges that we are facing as a society from a human-centered technology perspective. As you know, we are living an absolutely new era affecting the way we live, the way we work, the social relations, and also the new relationship of power between governments and non-governmental institutions, and the role of big digital players. The growth of digital technologies has increased exponentially over the past few years, and the adoption of technology as a fundamental part of our lives, particularly since the impact of the pandemic, also brings unprecedented challenges that we have a responsibility to take on. The new digital era opens before us a whole world of exciting opportunities and a global scenario never seen before, a historical context that allows us to project a more modern, fairer, and sustainable society and economy, and which at the same time has significant risks, threats, and uncertainties, challenges that oblige us as governments to assume a firm and unwavering commitment to citizens, to promote ambitious and transformative public policies aimed to transfer to the digital world all the rights and democratic values that prevail in the analog context, to update a human rights movement called to offer all the guarantees in a new digital reality that we are still discovering. Thanks to the effort and commitment of governments, institutions, and companies, we are designing the principles we need to build fairer and more ethical technological solutions. From the Secretary of State of Digitalization and Artificial Intelligence of the Government of Spain, we have a clear priority to place technology at the service of people. We want to move towards a technological humanism with a firm social and transformative vocation. We want to place people at the center of a technological revolution with the potential to reverse the systematic increase in global inequalities. Because the welfare of the 21st century is being built digitally. We are convinced that now is the time to move towards digital progress for the majority, towards a digital transformation that leaves no one behind. As governments, we have to take on the challenge to offer citizens the tools to develop socially and productively in a society that is reinventing itself. We must take on the commitment to lead and guide this path towards equality and social inclusion of citizens in the new digital era. We cannot allow this world to be built apart for those who most need technology to progress socially. We must have one single goal in mind: close the digital divide. Integrating the whole society into the new digital world requires, therefore, an unprecedented effort to close these digital divides, an essential issue in the digitalization process of all countries, including Spain. As digital activity increases globally, so does the digital divide and all the forms in which it manifests. A multifaceted inequality, the solution of which is to implement public policies at different levels, offering resources, equipments, connectivity, but above all, guaranteeing universal access to training in digital skills. In addition to that, we must be able to guarantee that disruptive technologies such as artificial intelligence, big data, or neurotechnologies are developed in line with these objectives. Technologies that are gaining more and more practical uses and becoming increasingly prominent in our daily lives. AI technologies are a unique opportunity, but the challenge is to guarantee an ethical and responsible use, also oriented to common benefit, using the value of data and the power of processing and algorithms to bring benefits to whole of society, through better decision-making, both at public and private levels, a path in which we must guarantee security, of course cybersecurity, and respect for citizens and their rights, preventing the perpetuation of algorithmic biases and the discrimination based on gender, race, social class, problems that strongly threaten our democracy and the fundamental values of our societies that we have time to face. A human-centric AI committed to social change that we have the opportunity to promote, with the responsibility and democratic guarantees that from the public sector we must preserve above anything else. We must look for solutions to overcome discrimination caused by AI and tools to achieve transparent and inclusive governance of AI schemes. And this is the path that Spain is willing to lead. For this reason, we have developed a digitalization plan with a clear vocation for social transformation, a human-centered perspective, and a transversal priority for the key digitalization process for the future of a country, with projects such as the Charter of digital rights. An innovative and pioneering initiative in which we want to generate a regulatory framework that guarantees this ethical vision of technology. A document that lays the foundation for the creation of a safe environment that respects the right of citizens, both in the physical and the digital world. As the Charter of the Digital Rights, we are also promoting an observatory for the social impact of algorithms that we have already put in place. As Spain therefore continues to move forward in the promotion of a human-centric digital transformation and seeks to continue to place our country in a position of international leadership in the protection of citizens' rights and to actively contribute to the various initiatives and debates that are being developed at European level. This is an objective that we share with our European partners and that we are already working together in crucial projects such as the proposal of the European regulation, where Spain has proposed itself to lead the practical implementation of this regulation and being the pilot country to prove that in place. Before closing, I just would like to thank again the Town Hall of Barcelona and especially Digital Future Society again for organizing this magnificent event. To all the speakers who are going to gather today in a meeting that I hope will allow us to advance in the essential debates for the future, and to all the people who are following the event and helping it continue to grow every year. As you can see, we are facing an authentic revolution, and we will definitely mark the digital transformation that lies ahead. The future is yet not written. We are writing it every day with our decisions and with our actions. We are challenged to put this revolution at the service of people, and I have no doubt that together we will achieve it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Carme Artigas, Secretary of State, Laia, Bonet, and Cristina Colom. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks.